Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's episode review. This time we will be reviewing episode 56 of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's, and that is the duel between Romin and Yuka. And what did I think about this episode? Well, to be completely honest, I really liked it a lot. I am a massive fan of baseball. Unfortunately, I am a very big New York Mets fan. If you know anything about baseball, you know why I preface that with the word unfortunately before it. But as someone who really enjoys the sport, I loved the theme of this episode. On top of that, you know I love Romin. I'm always representing the Roman Empire. And I really came to like Yuka a lot. I have been very positive on the treatment of the general girl cast that Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's has. And what do? They introduce the Goha siblings, which has one girl character, Yuka, and she is the first Goha sibling to actually get a win. Add it to another long list of girl characters that have gotten one-on-one wins in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's. It already has the most girls that have a win in any single Yu-Gi-Oh! Show from a quantity perspective, and now you add another one. And I thought the loss did not hurt Romin at all. I thought it was a good time for her to lose. I think it's a good time for a lot of the main four to lose, maybe barring Yuga. So I'm happy with the result all around. I'm happy with the episode, and I'm very happy that they're not going down the route of everyone losing. The Goha siblings are going to be down 4-0, and all of them have lost their position. And then Yugioh is going to be free to just do whatever he wants and I guess get 5 straight wins to get the score to 5-4 or 4-4. That would have been crazy. So I'm happy that that is not the route they are going. It's the route I thought they were going to go. I'm happy it's not the route that they are going. And the episode begins with Romin and Yugioh having a little bit of interaction. Actually, Yugioh mostly interacting with Gakuto and the others in the cast. And as soon as he said, "Sori wa dokana," you think that's good? You think so? You think it's going to be that easy to defeat the Goha siblings? You're wrong. As soon as he said that, I was like, if I could change my pick, I would probably change it to Yuka. I feel like that was a little bit of foreshadowing that this upcoming duel would be a massive test for the crew. And, you know, it's a baseball-themed episode. The whole comedic aspect of it is Rook wanting to become the king of stealing bases so he could steal the throne from Yuga if Yuga ever does become the president of Goha, which I think is fascinating because, yes, it's done in a very comedic way, but this is another episode this season where it is being foreshadowed to some degree that Yuga is eventually going to be a Goha employee. I believe it was last week during the Rook and Eugene duel, where in the beginning of that episode, Romin said, Yuga's never going to become a Goha employee. That would be ridiculous. And now, at the beginning of this episode, you have Rook literally making and fantasizing Yuga being the president of Goha. So, interesting stuff there that they keep giving us that imagery. And of course, we have no idea who the 6th Goha sibling is. I still believe it's Yuga. I think a lot of people do. Something to definitely keep an eye on there. But Romin is the most athletic of the 4. Yuga said he couldn't play baseball, and so seeing them do their tryouts was hilarious because Yuga is very smart. He's very tech savvy. Usually, it's one or the other. Usually you're either very athletic and very good at sports, and you're maybe not too advanced on the technological side of things, or you're very smart when it comes to tech and computers and building, and you're maybe not the most athletic person in the world. Obviously, there's exceptions, but I feel like those two things counterbalance each other, so very realistic for Yuga to not be good at the game of baseball, and Romin is the best, most athletic of the group. It's pretty obvious that that's the case. Even Gakuto recognizes it. And so Yuka comes down, having bought this baseball team, and challenges Romin to a duel. And throughout the duel, we get baseball imagery of characters, you know, throwing pitches and trying to hit the pitches that are thrown. And if the ball does not get hit, the characters, the monsters, I should say, are destroyed, which I really, again, as a baseball fan, really appreciated the symbolism. And this might be a duel where if you're not into baseball, and I'm actually kind of interested to hear from non-baseball, non-sports fans, where maybe it didn't really do it for you because, you know, you didn't really care too much for the imagery because you're not really familiar with the sport. So that's definitely something that I want to hear from you guys, especially the people that are not fans of baseball, because I might just be so high on the duel in the episode because of that baseball symbolism and me really liking the sport. But the aspect that I have to talk to, that I'm sure everyone is just dying to hear me speak about, is number 39, Utopia, or in this case, home, as symbolism for home plate, home base. There's a few different things that home could mean when it comes to the home team, when it comes to baseball. But obviously, in the subbed version, Utopia was not Utopia, it was Hope. That was Yuma's Ace Monster's name. And so Yuka's Ace Monster, number 39, it's the same number, is home. And my lord, did they bait us. When Rook said she now has 2 level 4 monsters, I literally got to the edge of my seat and I was like, holy, there's no way. And then immediately you could see it was a tribute monster, a tribute summon. And I was like, all right, that's what I thought. But the way that this show once again baited us just for a moment when Rook said, now she has 2 level 4 monsters, Roman, it's coming. I think it just shows us, especially the fans that have been around for a while, how aware the writing team at Studio Bridge is when it comes to older Yu-Gi-Oh! Tropes. Seeing Jack Atlas's D-Wheel way back in, I believe it was episode 25, and now seeing a line like this, it makes me honestly have more faith in the writers of the show, because it's those little things that really do play to the history and, in my opinion, the legacy of what the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime has produced over these 20 years. So that moment was absolutely hilarious. Of course, it was bait, and home is a tribute monster. It is not a XZ's monster, which I think most of us could have known and figured out before this episode even began. Yuka also used a Gagaga and a Zubaba monster, which I was not expecting. More references to Zale, more references to, more specifically, Yuma Tsukumo. And this is definitely the closest replica of Yuma's deck we have seen since Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal ended. I can't say it's the greatest tribute that Zexal has gotten since the show ended because of what Arc 5 did with, Kaido and Heartland and all those references. But this is pretty amazing. And if you are a Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal fan, you probably are going to absolutely love this episode. Even if you are not planning on watching Sevens, this is an episode you should check out because they really, really gave, I thought, great odes and tributes to Yuma and to Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal as a whole. Yuka and Romin end up dueling, obviously. They go back and forth, and Yuka ends up getting the better of Romin when she activates a trap to survive Romin's turn. And then, of course, Utopia, with his double slash hit, or whatever it was called, ends up getting the victory. And I know there was a lot of people who criticized the show for bringing in Blue Eyes, only to have Blue Eyes destroyed. It wasn't something that I really cared all that much about, but it was nice to see Utopia be a monster here that not only, and I know I keep calling it Utopia, I know it's not technically Utopia, but, hopefully you guys will cut me some slack there. It was nice to see this monster actually really get a lot of respect from the writing team, even to the point of giving Yuka the win over Romin using this monster. Now, Romin is coming off the best arc any Yu-Gi-Oh! Girl has ever had in terms of quality of wins, beating Roa and beating our main protagonist, Yuga, fair and square. That to me is not debatable. I'm not talking about character progression. I'm talking about win quality. So she could use a loss. I have no problem with her losing here. Her first loss since her shock loss to Sushiko about 20-25 episodes ago. And what's fascinating about Romin losing here is, once again, she duels not using her full deck. Rook gives her a couple of cards, and this is the second time we have seen Romin duel using a deck that is not her pure deck. And in both instances, when she dueled Yuga for the first time, and now when she duels Yuka, she does not pull out the win. So even if you're looking for some sort of, power scaling, which I think is a little silly, but it's fun to discuss, Roman's not using her full deck. If you have a Shadol Dino deck, and your friend gives you Ojama Yellow and Ojama Black and says, hey man, use these cards, they're going to help you out, and you draw those cards, and you don't end up winning, Romin doesn't blame Rook, and I don't think she should. She doesn't say, oh man, if only I didn't have those cards. No, she accepted them, and actually, I thought that showed a lot of good character progression on Romin and Rook's relationship. We got a lot of that at the end of the season, only a handful of episodes ago, and to see how far they came. Remember, those were the two that easily bickered the most in the group. To see how far they came, where Rook is lending his monsters to Romin, and Romin is happily accepting, I thought was really, really nice to see. And Romin doesn't blame Rook or anything like that, but you do wonder if she was not using Rook's monsters, maybe that duel's a little different. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if it would have been, but you can play devil's advocate there, which that's what I like when Yu-Gi-Oh does things like that, whether it's for your protagonist or for a villain or for a rival. Whenever they make you think a little bit about, well, normally if he did that, then maybe it wouldn't have had that result. You get thinking, you get debating, and I like that. So all around, loved the duel. Loved the episode. The Goha siblings desperately needed a win. I would not have been a big fan if everyone lost until Yugioh dueled, so I love that Yuka won. Yuden, the blue-haired boy, seems pretty indifferent on Yuka winning. He seems very indifferent about everything, honestly. Yugioh is not happy. Yugioh, you can see, gets a little annoyed as soon as he realizes Yuka's won, and at the end, he even says to, I guess we're still calling him Mr. Goha, I'm surprised Yuka was winning, or I'm surprised Yuka won, excuse me. That was not part of my plan. And Mr. Goha informs him that the card that he brought to Mr. Goha is usable in rush duels, which begs the question, are we going to see this card, whatever it is, be used by Yuden when he duels Gakuto next week, or are we going to have to wait for when Yugioh duels? I think we're probably going to have to wait for when Yugioh duels, but very fascinating that whatever card that is, we are going to be seeing it very, very soon. And we kind of have to, because it's 13 episode arcs. We don't have a lot of time to draw out a lot of these duels, draw out a lot of these storylines, especially when there's so many going on. I mean, one team's got to reach 6 before you would imagine this season ends, and it's only 2-1, and we're almost at the halfway point of 13 episodes, so we got to hurry it up. If Yuka is going to duel again, she has to duel, if it's not a rematch, Tiger. Yuka's personality and Tiger's personality and Tiger's athleticism, that to me seems like the next matchup that needs to happen in the Yuka arc or the Yuka storyline, but we'll see. Would love to see Yuka take on Tiger at some point. We'll see if it happens. But guys, all in all, really enjoyed the episode. I have absolutely zero issues. I think this is the result I preferred. Even though, I love Romin, this is the result that I would have wanted. I would have wanted Yuka to win. I did not think it was going to happen, but it did. And Romin continues to struggle against girl characters, right? 0-2 against girls. I think she's like 5-1 or 6-1 against guy characters. So kind of an interesting split there, losing to Sushiko and Yuka. But that concludes my thoughts on 56. Thank you all so much for watching. Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Every Wednesday night, which is actually probably airing in about 2 hours after this review goes up. Every Wednesday night, 8:30, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Me and my friends, we all talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. Everything there is to discuss. Hope to see you guys there. But thank you all so much for watching. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons, Horace Maye, Goosey Q, Panther J, Blue Maiden 28, Jarrett Buller, XSlayer64, Brandon Gomez, and TenjoKogamiZaizen, and to my Diamond tier patrons, Jesse Wood, Latrell Smith, and Anime Kaput, and to my Egyptian God tier patron, XZ's Lover 104. Thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. Thank you to everyone who is a YouTube channel member. I appreciate it so, so much. You guys help me out tremendously. I stream on Twitch, I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Instagram. Link for all those is down in the description. I will talk to you in the comments below. Thank you once again for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.